For more on Wall Street's massive sell-off and what it means for the markets today, I want to bring in Chris Markowski, the host of the Watchdog on Wall Street radio show and president of Markowski Investments. Chris, great to have you on this morning. It was just Wednesday that we were talking about record closes by the NASDAQ and the S&P, the Dow closing above 29,000 for the first time. Yesterday, a very different story. The major indices all plunged. What happened?
Yeah, word of the day, I think, on Wednesday was frothy. Things getting pretty expensive out there. You're taking a look at the run-up in many stocks. I mean, this past week, you saw Zoom go up 40% in one day. Technology has been leading the way over the past several months. And the overall breadth of the market hasn't been that strong. And at some point in time, you're going to start seeing some rotation in some of these assets, and people are going to start taking some profits off the table. I'm a big believer in doing that all along the way, where you cut here and you snip here in positions that have done very, very well. And I think it's high time that markets kind of cool off a little bit, especially the tech sector, and get into some of that rotation.
The big word on the tech sector has always been bubble. And a lot of these names being overvalued. So do you think this is a one-day thing, or is it perhaps a bubble, and are we going to see even more of a correction here?
I think more of a correction would be healthy. I don't roll the dice on trying to guess the momentum plays in the various different markets. But if you actually take a look at actually the options and how the options have been played with various different tech companies, it's almost like on a positive feedback loop because so many new investors in Robinhood and many others novice investors getting involved in futures and options trading and driving these markets up, where it's almost a vicious cycle to the upside. But like I said, people say vicious cycle to the upside. How can that be bad? Well, at some point in time, it does hit a wall.
I'm glad you mentioned, Robinhood and some of these new investors. Jim Cramer yesterday on CNBC was mentioning that he thinks perhaps this is a good time for some of these newer, younger investors who don't have as much experience in the markets. Maybe they should take some money off the table right now. And kind of see how things play out. For younger people who are new to the markets, they may think that since March, markets only go up. We know that that's not the case. Any advice to people who might be newer at the game here?
It's the old Yogi Berra saying, it's like deja vu all over again. And I was here back during the 1990s when people were saying the exact same thing. Oh, it's a new economy, it's a new paradigm, and earnings do not matter. Different in the sense that many of these companies that have been going to the upside are very, very strong companies. Let's say Apple, for instance. They have a big iPhone rollout that's coming down the pike, and it's supposed to do really, really well. But you never get hurt taking a profit. And when I talk about cutting here and snipping here, if you have a position in your portfolio and if you put your portfolio together properly, and that 10% or 15% of your portfolio is now 25% because the market has run up, the only way you're going to get it back down to 15 again is by selling or having the market correct. So you trim your position. We all can agree that certain companies are great companies and they're going to be great for 5-10 years down the road. However, it doesn't mean you can't take some money off the table.
I want to switch gears and talk about the jobs report. We're expecting it in about an hour from now for last month. What are you looking for as far as these numbers?
I'm hoping that we don't hit a wall. That's my biggest fear right now. We've seen some improvement, great improvement over the past several months in many areas of the country continuing to open up, but other areas, very powerful areas of the country have not. It was a pretty depressing story yesterday talking about how New York City, how 25,000 hotel rooms may just go by the wayside. And you actually think about all of the myriad of people that serve and service those hotel rooms, and when are they going to get back to work? Until we get, especially some of these major urban areas open that employ a lot of people, I think very, very soon we're going to hit a wall.
All right. Really great insight on a very busy morning for the markets. We do have to leave it there. Chris Markowski, host of the Watchdog on Wall Street radio show and the president of Markowski Investments. Great to have you on this morning.